Today we go back to where it all started, with the original Donn the Beachcomber Zombie of the 1930s. The Zombie is the first big tiki cocktail, even though it was not technically tiki at that time. That word tiki was not used to describe these bars or cocktails or the culture around this movement until the 1950s, and it is in retrospect that we apply this word to pretty much everything seemingly tiki. Now, at the time, these were exotic cocktails, and the Zombie was the first that really took off with imitations and recreations of the one that was originally made by Donn the Beachcomber. You can find, read, watch, and listen to a lot of origin stories about the Zombie, and they're all pretty similar, yet not always the same. Sourcing for something like this is always a little bit tricky, but I'll share with you the origin story of the Zombie from the man himself. Donn was behind the bar in his Hollywood location when a friend of his told him that he was flying off to San Francisco in just 1 hour. He asked for something long and potent. He blended several rums and poured it into a new specialty glass that Donn had made, and Donn made him 2 and a third one to take with him. After his friend arrived in San Francisco, he came to several hours later. He had even delayed the flight for everyone else. The next time he saw Donn, he asked what he had done to him. After having 3 of these drinks, the man said he had a numb feeling, a feeling that he was dead. When Donn heard this, he thought to himself, Walking Dead, and decided to call it the Zombie. The drink would also be limited to 2 per customer. Now, according to Donn, the Zombie should be drank between 4 and 7 p.m. It's a conversational drink, one you drink while playing chess or chatting. Donn is also quoted as saying that he does not drink them. Just an interesting point for you to consider. The popularity of this drink is a bit unusual from the other popular drinks this time because there was no recipes from Donn the Beachcomber directly. In fact, one of the first zombie recipes that we see is a knockoff from Trader Vic, and the countless other zombie recipes out there or being served at other bars are just interpretations of Donn's Zombie. Likely with many of them having no idea what is in a zombie or an original zombie, or maybe they never even had tasted one of these themselves. It was not until 1950 that the first zombie recipe from Donn the Beachcomber is printed. And it's no cocktail book, but a barbecue book by Louis Spivak. And by this time, the recipe had been adapted and changed. This is a less spice-driven zombie and one that contains pineapple and passion fruit. So the Zombie debuts in the 1930s. It's then a recipe in 1950 that's printed, but no one really knows about it because it's in a barbecue book, and it's not even the first version of the drink. And then we don't get a real original zombie recipe until Beach Bum Berry shares a recipe in 2007. So that means more than 70 years go by where hundreds, if not thousands of bars are making zombies, and no one knows the original recipe. So while the original is important, as it should be, without all these imitators and all the phonies, the drink would not have been nearly as popular as it was at that time or even today. But even if we had the recipe from the 1930s, it was not until 2007 when Jeff Berry figured out the secret behind the Zombie, which is Donn's mix. That is 2 parts grapefruit juice to 1 part cinnamon syrup. Grapefruit, oh grapefruit. Many will point to the authenticity of using white grapefruit, but I don't have that. I never have that, so I use ruby red grapefruit juice. And that might be different from the original, but I'm not using the limes they used at that time either, at least probably not. In the early 1900s, most likely until post-World War II era, the main lime being consumed was the key lime variety that we're familiar with today. Technically, I believe that there's more sugar in a key lime, but it's definitely more acidic. Make a daiquiri with 1 ounce of a standard Persian or Tahitian lime, and then make one with 1 ounce of key lime juice, and you will see the big difference between them. Eventually, pretty much all of the key lime crops were replaced with the Persian-style limes, and we don't see too many people out here proclaiming that our lime juice in pre-Prohibition cocktails or the cocktails of this exotic cocktail era from the 1930s is incorrect. So, use the juice that you have. Don't not make this because you don't have white grapefruit juice. When it comes to serving the Zombie, well, a Zombie glass is the best vessel for this. It's really just a Collins glass, but by 1940, just a few years after this drink was created and popularized, the glass itself becomes popularized. With dozens of options, you can buy sets of them for less than $1, and you can even get them initialed. The rums you use in a zombie are really a dealer's choice, a Gold Puerto Rican rum, a Gold Jamaican rum, and a 151 Demerara. There's even one account which I don't think is accurate, or I don't believe it, that the zombie had a blend of 70 plus rums. I'll be using Hamilton 151 for the Demerara, Plantaray Zaimaca for the Jamaican, and good old Bacardi 8 for the Puerto Rican. And not only are we using 3 rums for this, but 4 ounces total, with one of those ounces being a 151 rum. This should really be 1 per customer. So let's make the original zombie, featuring the recipe first shared by Beach Bum Berry. Start with just 1 dash of Angostura bitters, and that first bump does not count. 6 drops of Pernod, 1 teaspoon of grenadine, 3/4 ounces of lime juice, half an ounce of Donn's mix, half an ounce of Falernum, 1.5 ounces of a Gold Puerto Rican rum, 1.5 ounces of a Gold Jamaican rum, and 1 ounce of a 151 Demerara rum. Just garnish this with some mint, and there you go, the original zombie. Let's try a zombie. Cheers. If it's your first time having a zombie, or specifically the original zombie, the thing to take away here is that you just got to always remember there's a whole lot of rum in here. And in this case, a full ounce of 151. So 4 ounces total with a 151. That's drinking like a drink with 5 ounces of rum. It doesn't taste that way. That's why you got to remember it, because if you have one of these, you'll feel it. If you have 2 of these, you'll feel it. 3, and now you're The Walking Dead. It is very much so quintessential tiki ingredients, but it has this, the strangeness here lies in the fact that it is not super spice forward. Even though we have Falernum, I use the tropical standard Falernum. It's my favorite Falernum to make and use, as well as cinnamon syrup in here. But because there's so much dilution here from rum dilution, that the other ingredients aren't as strong and don't stand out as much. So it's a combination of those things. It's the sweetness from the grenadine and the Donn's mix and the Falernum helping balance it out. You get the spice there, obviously from the cinnamon and the Angostura and the Falernum, but none of that overpowers it. It doesn't feel like a super spice-driven or cinnamon-forward cocktail, because the rum there makes it a rum-forward drink. And I don't want to encourage everyone to use the rums that I use. I just use those because I thought that would be interesting to try in this. Those 3 together I haven't used before. I've been making a lot of zombies recently leading up to this. I don't have a favorite. The zombie is... treat it like a Mai Tai, treat it like a daiquiri, treat it as a way, or a planter's punch, as a way to explore different combinations and come up with your favorite blend of rums for a zombie, touching on the Puerto Rican age style, the Jamaican, and then also a 151 Demerara. And those rums are obviously going to be the biggest factor here to change it into something else, and just use the ones you like. You don't have to be exact. That's why I kind of like in the Beach Bum Berry books or the Total Tiki app, he does, it's not like you got to use these 3 exactly. It's just these 3 styles of rums. And that source I found, which I don't trust, it said Donn blended like 72 rums for a zombie. That's not true. I don't even know if Donn had 72 rums at that time. I saw something else that, I don't know, said he had something like similar to that. But that goes to the lore of the zombie, the backstories, the stories that may or may not be true. And the one I accounted to you today was from Donn the Beachcomber, but it was, I don't know, good 10 years later. So who knows the true origin and what really happened and how it got its name. But there was a zombie movie of that time, and the idea of zombies it wasn't like it is today. You didn't have all the zombie movies we have and the cultural thing of zombies that we have now, but back in the early 1930s, that was becoming this popularized thing. So it's very fitting, had this drink shown up or had Donn's friend, let's say it's 10 years earlier, had Donn's friend had this drink, it probably wouldn't have called it the zombie, probably would have called it something else. So there's this cultural significance to it for the time that it was created and some of the culture around it and the movie that came out. Don't know the exact year for that movie. I will put it on the screen. But all in all, a fantastic zombie. As far as the popular zombie recipes go, there's some modern interpretations of that people really like. This is the one that everyone, for the most part, goes back to. The real strong booziness of this, something that they probably can't even legally serve you at a normal bar. But make it at home if you want to experience real historical tiki and Donn the Beachcomber. Then this is the one that you got to start with. And if you haven't made it yet, it's time for you to get all this stuff and make your first zombie. So that's it for this one, the zombie from Donn the Beachcomber. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like below. If you want to support this channel more, you can check out my Patreon page. Otherwise, subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you on the next one.
Of your eternal spring, of your splendor and your charm. When the dusk is falling